Hi everybody, ArmyP here for eXplorminate, and welcome to our very first episode of Stellaris 2.0 with the expansion pack Apocalypse installed. Now, we're going to have a lot to cover when it comes to Stellaris 2.0 versus Stellaris 1.9, so I'm going to jump right in. Okay, so we've got our Explormination in our home star. I'm just going to pull out and let you see what we're up against here. And we've got the center of the galaxy. Interesting location, starting location. It's not so bad. So what you're going to notice first off is there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be a lot of information I'm going to be throwing your way. You can see here that our opening location actually has some of our home star system has been already kind of mined. Or, you know, we've got mining facilities already and research facility stations posted everywhere. I think the idea by being here is that you won't get such a random start. So, what would be the first thing you'd always do in Stellaris 1.9? Of course, you're going to take your different ships, right? Your corvettes, and you're going to explore it. Nope, no you're not. It is actually not viable. The only person that can research or go to a star system first is, guess what? Yes, your science ship. Your science ship is actually going to be the one who scouts every star system before your fleet. It's the decision they made. It kind of furthers along the idea of the wonder of exploration, and I don't mind it. You get used to it after a while. What I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to kind of show you really quickly a little bit about the starbase system or the shipyard system. And then we'll just kind of continue and start pushing out our borders, which of course borders has seen a massive change. There has been a lot of different tech changes and a lot of different options. In fact, I'm pretty sure if you played a lot of Stellaris, you're kind of going through the motions of what you're going to be building first and etc., right? That's completely changed. I've noticed that what tactics I personally would employ are completely thrown out the window. I'm actually, it's almost, I feel like there's so many changes that I'm relearning this game for the first time, which is exciting but terrifying at the same time. Out of all of these three options, of course, everybody's used to these. You'll notice that the physics labs pops up first. I typically never take that. I'm going to take it this time, and I will explain why in a few minutes. Society, you can see here that we've got a new tech called Off-World Trader. Basically, this is going to be, you'll end up with an incredible amount of star bases for different reasons and different outlooks. Some are defensive, some are going to be for actually trading. Out of all of these three, I think I'm going to take the Heritage Site because I am going to be trying to get my Unity up high. And again, we've got two other ones here. That's Corvette building speed. This is an Empire modifier. You just build Corvettes faster. So there's quite a bit here, but I am going to take the engineering facility. And the reason I will is I will tell you all about how all of your current tactics for pushing out your borders have completely changed. So I'm going to, of course, get my minerals up. That's always an important. Let's take a look at Explorminate. What do we get? Do we get a 16 planet? Nah, that's not bad. I would have liked something better. So we don't have an extra minerals unless I pay for it. You'll notice here that taking out tile blockers is entirely done by energy now. I don't want to use that yet, so I think I'll end up building a heritage site right here, a monument. Okay, without further ado, we're going to, the very first thing I always do is I always going to check how much a scientist is going to cost me. So we're going to go to the leaderboard here. And how much is a scientist? 200 energy, so we're not going to be able to do much. Typically what I always do, and if you've watched any of my Let's Plays or tips or watched me live streaming, I always make sure that I build a second science ship. Now this is doubly important in this particular game. And the reason this is important is because a science ship is going to be able to tell you which stars are worth, you know, going to. So they're the only ones who can actually explore unknown star systems. So exploring and then having your construction ship going after that is going to be very, very important early game. So we're going to wait till we get to about, I think we got enough here. I'm going to try to get my energy up by building a location there. Now you'll notice here, as I zoom in and my science ship is going around, that you'll see that the exit points from where the hyperlanes are unknown. you actually have to, you're not going to be able to warp just out of the ring. It used to be able that you could just warp out of the ring and go into the general direction. The actual game has been completely slowed down, and this is one of those things that they decided to do to take out doom stacks, was that you're going to have to travel. Let's say, this is a perfect example. You can see here I've got two different locations, right? Unknown, unknown. I'm going to take my science ship and go to this one and explore it just to see what's up. He actually has to go to this gateway to then go to warp, or sorry, I shouldn't say that, to go faster than light, and then he'll be able to go right to this location, and then he'll be able to go. So the whole idea here is that if you've got someone who's you know, a pirate is attacking, let's say in this particular location, you have to go not only through all of these hyperlanes, but in each individual one you're going to have to traverse in sublight to go in between these two gateways. Hopefully that makes sense and my explanation isn't too, you know, bad crazy. Alright, I'm going to leave that now. I'm always leery to do that. We're pretty close to getting our second science ship. Ooh, Continental World 23. Excellent. Now, one of the things that I've always done in the past has been a little leery about getting a second colony too quickly because of the cost on my science. That is completely gone, that whole idea. The biggest modifier that you're going to have against, the biggest malice against your tech is actually your borders. And you'll understand that later on as we start to show off. Okay, so we'll discover of alien life, that's fine. Now you'll see here that some of the resources that you're going to get in almost every type.
Construction complete.
I don't know if I necessarily want that. Sorry. When you'll notice here that I'm getting the resources in each one of the star systems is actually quite high, and that is done deliberately. That you're probably looking at that having played 1.9 thought, oh my god, you know, 2 energy, 8 mineral, 3 engineering points. That is massive, and you're right. But in this game, it is completely different. That's average, actually. The amount of minerals that happens in star systems has gone up considerably. Okay, so I'm going to recruit a scientist. What do we got here? An anomaly fail. That's an obvious choice. So we're going to get him going. Survey this system, and now we're good to go. We've got 2 science vessels on the go. This is probably going to be my first choice. I want that minerals. So in doing so, we can kind of test the border system. Now, if I believe I can do it, okay, I wasn't too sure just because of this line. It ends up being a little bit, oh, there's probably a little bit better. Those are 2 different sectors. So I can't expand my borders. I can't build, there's no such thing as frontier posts anymore. Just in case you're not watching the dev diaries, I can't just go to this location or whatever location, build it, and it'll go. The border system is done far more organically and far more systematically at the same time. You can only kind of go in between connecting star systems. It creates a lot less border gore, and it also makes a lot more sense that if from, oh yeah, I forgot I named this star NASA Rock. There's a shout out to you, Nate. Anyway, I got out, the borders can only extend to borders that you already connect. So I'm going to build a starbase outpost. Okay, a starbase outpost is the minimal part, the minimal starbase that you're going to build in every system. Now it costs influence to do that, but it has no upkeep, so it's a little different than your typical frontiers. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. Have my construction ship. See, he's going, the construction ship is going right there. Now, as soon as he gets there, he'll be able to build it. It does look like we got some pretty good locations. Another continental world, 15, so not too shabby. That 23 is definitely awesome. Now, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to extend the borders here, and I'm definitely going to go here because there's a second planet. And I'm going to show you something kind of interesting about the way that they do tech now. I can't do it because we haven't really conquered anything. Alright, my eXplormination fellow members, what are we going to take first? Typically, I always took the traditions of expansion first because, of course, colony development is very important. And my last Let's Play, or sorry, when I was doing a dry run of 2.0, I took Discovery first. I don't know if that was necessarily the best bet. Geez, I'm kind of struggling a little bit. You know what? Just to mix it up, just to mix it up, I'm actually going to take Discovery first. Why not? I'll get a lot of science, and then you'll probably understand as we start to get a little bit deeper into this Let's Play that that's not that crazy. So, of course, if I adopt this, I get an anomaly fail risk reduced by 10%, and my discovery chance has actually increased by 15%. See what our pops are doing. I'm going to be putting that down. Perfect. Okay, so we should be good to go pretty... Oh, my science ship's not doing anything. I'm actually going to get... Corvita to do that. 10% is legitimate. So, of course, one of the things you should always do, no matter if you're a 1.9 or 2.0, is always make sure that you're getting, and if you can utilize getting these anomalies, because they can offer sometimes huge bonuses. Now you can see that our border has extended. It kind of looks a little bit odd shaped just because we haven't taken this one system Holden. Now, I'm going to go all the way over here, move my ship over, and the reason I'm going to show you this, and not you know what, before I do that, I'm still a bit of a min-maxer, guys, sorry. So before I do that, I am going to, oh wow, that's +4. I'm going to you know, sometimes I have to let the OCD get off my head a little bit. Okay, we had an ancient life pod, 60 research, that's good to go. So my science ship's going to continue on. Okay, I'm just going to do this for the sake of it. I should have taken that +4, okay? So I should have taken it, even though it was over a planet, I should have taken that because it would have, I'm not going to colonize that anytime soon, but it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to bring my science ships over here. I'm going to bring my construction ship over here and just show you what the extended of the borders looks like at that point. I don't have enough Unity production right now to build 2 construction ships. I might do it just a little bit later, maybe when I extend my border and I get some really juicy targets. Okay, so what I'm going to do is build a outpost. So you can see here my Unity, I don't have enough to build a 3rd one. But the reason I'm doing this is going to show you one of those things that was not talked about a lot in the dev diary. And that is how much the tech balance has changed. It used to be on systems and colonies and pops. Is that right? No, it was on... yes, it was. It has changed quite a few times. Research, yep. But now it's, although it is a little bit, I believe, on pops, we'll take a look actually right we're at now. So you can see here, I have 2 systems at 2%, and that actually starts to go up. So every time I take a system, it's 1%, and I think after a certain point, it actually goes up to 2. So if I end up with, you know, right now, you can also see I have about 10 systems, right? That could be up to 20% of a malus. So planets are incredibly focused. You should going to be incredibly focused on trying to keep your research and your Unity up, because you can see it here as my malus as well. The amount of systems is 4%, so it's actually you know, quite high. As I extend my borders, those go really down. So a lot of the tactics that we used to have when it came to building quote-unquote tall are reversed. Now having a small amount of very very valuable systems and just a few planets, but then turtling with your shipyards are actually very important. And I think that that was one of the things that threw me off completely when I started playing this game, was like, you know, just trying to figure out why it was taking me so long to research anything. And it turns out the reason why is because of this the way that they do this tech malus now. What our tech cost is, how has it been adjusted. Okay, so as always, I'm going to be building my mining stations first. And that continental world is kind of staring at me. I'm starting to think that maybe I should be enjoying that. Here we go. I think we're going to kind of explore over here. So you can see here the border system kind of just, it doesn't naturally grow. It's not based on pops. It's entirely based on these small outposts that you can build. And I probably should talk to you a little bit about that, because you can see here in the upper bar I have my fleet capacity, and we'll talk about fleets a little bit later and then probably in a following episode. We've got our starbase capacity. As it stands right now, you can build as many of those smaller outposts as that you want, but as soon as you upgrade them, they become part of your starbase capacity. So why don't we take a look at a starbase capacity now? Go. This is a starport, and we can eventually upgrade it. They've got several different tiers. each one has something called a module, a building, and defenses, and then of course your shipyard. Now your shipyard that tab is only going to appear if you have the shipyard. Now each module, you can customize it. You can see here that there's trading hubs. Those only appear if you're over a city. You can have one that gives additional hull points and armor points, and it gives you slots in your starbase, a gun battery, anchorage. Basically, that increases your fleet capacity and your shipyard. You can actually build 2 shipyards on your space station so that you can build 2 fleets at once. It's actually a great addition, and there's so many different changes. I don't want to go off topic a little bit. And then you'll get buildings, and these buildings are how you can customize them even further. The idea being here is that with a small spaceport, one of these little stations, outposts, in each one of your sectors, you can actually degrade, dismantle and upgrade and build these all out and place them in strategic points as you're going to need them as the game progresses. The idea is that we used to put so much emphasis on
Construction complete.
we used to put so much emphasis on planets in 1.9, and now, although they are important, they're not nearly as important because they kind of share an important space with your new starbase capacity. So it's a really interesting mechanic. I won't lie, I consider myself a fairly versed individual when it comes to Stellaris 1.9. Ooh, that's actually pretty good. +6 engineering. Wow, I really want that. So that's exactly where we're going to go next. Having 2 science ships, peeps. Hear me out. Again, you can see that the volume of what's coming out is exponentially higher. You can see here I'm getting 6 engineering. Oh, good. What do we get for that? Oh, you son of a... Sorry. When you picked democracy in 1.9, it was awesome because when you fulfilled a minor mandate, you got tons of influence. I didn't know it got traded to unity. Where's my president? I'm gonna complain to my president. Excuse me, President Army P. Not help me out. Okay, so we get 50 unity. Big deal. Okay, so I shouldn't say that. Survey speed increased by 35%. Okay, that's what we're gonna go. The reason we're gonna go down this tree, everybody, is because this is what we want: Planetary Survey Corps, because we gain a fraction of our science based off of every survey that we do, and because we're going to be doing a lot of surveying, we're going to correct a lot of science this way. Okay, it's pretty good there. I do have to clear off some sprawling slums. Okay, so where are we going to go next? I want my science ship to come here. Still starved for influence. One thing I will tell you, and I know there's a lot of information probably coming your way, and you're going, oh my god, we haven't even done anything, and it's been, 20 minutes already. And the reason that is because the starting game has slowed down considerably. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you'll notice it when you play Stellaris 2.0 for the first time. I mean, at any given point, I remember when I used to play this game, probably 1.6, I would be able... Oh, we got some hostiles. We'll go check that out right away here. Let's see what we got. Who is here? Okay. We got some space cows. Oh, those aren't space cows. Those are they're anomalies. Okay, well, that's good. We'll study them. It's too bad, too. They've got a continental world. Okay, you're heading back. Yeah, anyway, what I was trying to say is at like, 2012, I used to be able to have like 3 colonies by like really, really like min-maxing and lucking out a few things when it came to minerals. Now that's completely tossed out the window. You will be extending your borders, I would say, for your first game up to including like 40 years. So in this Let's Play, I'm going to be doing my best to kind of explain as much as I can for the changes and how they're coming and what they're doing. Anomaly detected. But there could be points when I decide, you know what, extending my borders is just not terribly interesting Let's Play. So if all I'm going to be doing for several, 20 minutes to half an hour in between Let's Plays is extending my borders, I'll just take that opportunity to do that off screen. So when you come in, don't feel that you're being cheated somehow. It's just because the beginning game, which is, let's face it, is the best part of Stellaris. I think that it'll always be that way. I love the exploration phase of this game. Has been slowed down, and it's much more strategic. Once we start rubbing elbows with some other of the nations that we have available to us, it'll become a little bit more interesting Let's Playing. But for the time being, just so you know, that's kind of the grasp I'm going to take. Okay, fusion reactors, good segue. Okay, so I think we're going to take fusion reactors a bit early, blue lasers. Okay, everybody, so where are we looking at right now? We've got lots of minerals, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to build a second construction ship. The construction ship, ironically, is still built at the planet. They just build basic things: colony ship, science ship, and construction ship. Everything else is built in a spaceport. That's good. It'll be important to know when we start getting into fleet management. Okay, it looks like the beginning of the precursors. We got the first league. One of the best ones. I like the Cybrex the best, but I've seen all three of them enough to know what's up and what's down.
Construction complete.
Okay, so we got that. We've got that enemy ship. What is this fleet power? Okay, 980. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to muck around a little bit. Make sure that I got my energy good to go. I still don't know if I'm going to colonize that quickly. I actually might do that just because my energy or my minerals are actually pretty decent right now.
Complete.
I might actually do a second planet pretty close. So anyway, that's kind of the big. Oh, we got an other alien. I wonder if we got borders. Let's just see if who is it. What is it going to take? Go to situation log. 5 months. Okay, we're going to do this 5 months because I want to see. It's another relation. And again, so many different things. I'm probably going to be talking in circuits a little bit. You can see even the icons have changed. You can tell here that this little, particle icon indicates that you got a science vessel. Your tools are your construction ship, and your stars are your fleet. So even so many UI changes have been done just to make your life just a little bit easier. But you can see here that we have already got what looks like a humanoid ship. I wonder which race or empire that is. We're going to wait for 5 more months and we're going to figure it out. Okay, where's my construction ship? Okay, I want my minerals. And I think we're going to be taking... We have to take this one here. This is way too juicy to get anybody else to have that.
Survey complete.
Egalitarianism and, fun loving as we are, we still are hungry. We want to see the eXplormination succeed, and to succeed, we're going to need that sector.
Our presence in the galaxy has not gone by.
The Solarthian Alliance. Oh, come on. I built 10 of these things, locked them in, and I'm stuck beside a random empire. Okay, Solarian Alliance. They are egalitarian and xenophile. Wow, we're going to get along just fine. Orcs and humans. Eat it, Blizzards. Okay, so where's Cementum Occasion? Okay, so obviously they're right beside us. This is going to give us a very good indication of where we're going to be going from here. Obviously, east and west. That's notwithstanding the fact that we absolutely need to take this sector. This unclaimed star system. Okay, everybody, so this is the first episode, and I know I probably want to talk to my circles a little bit, but there's just so much information that gets tossed at you right away when you load up Stellaris 2.0 for this first time. I'm hoping to give you just the slightest bit of tips to make your transition from 1.9 to 2.0 not that bad. The eXplormination ends up finding its very first star system, and I'm telling you right now, if we end up finding another race and it's not one of the custom-made empires that was made by our eXplorminate fans, I'm going to be ticked. So, yeah, that's pretty much where we're going to go, and I think the next episode we're going to colonize, and I'm going to step in and talk a little bit about the changes that have occurred when it comes to the ships, the shipbuilders, hulls, weapon systems, and colonization. So this has been Army P for eXplorminate, and I'll see you next episode.